Hello, my name is Prime, and welcome back to ATS Showcases, and welcome to Port Fourchon. So, for today's delivery, we are going to be hauling some diesel using our international LT day cab from here at the southernmost point of the Louisiana DLC and heading to a synthetical plant just outside of New Orleans, exploring what is supposed to be a very scenic route here in the Louisiana DLC. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get our international LT started up and get on the road. In today's video, I am not using any third-party modification. Everything you hear and see is American Truck Simulator and official DLC content through and through. All right, it's time to get rolling out of Port Fourchon, and what a beautiful facility down here. This is what I'm basically classing as the LNG/fuel export station down here. It is the most southern point of the Louisiana DLC and a beautiful depot at best. One that is sprawling across, well, some pretty marshy land here, or at least for the most part. Lots of water and canal around here, obviously with the Gulf just, well, where all those big old ships are off in the edge. We got to make a left here and get out of here. And from the map, when I came to this delivery point, it looks like we actually have to use a little bit of a ferry to, well, get actually to the mainland, so to speak, of the Louisiana DLC, which is very, very interesting indeed. Hopefully everyone is doing well. Happy official release of the Louisiana DLC. Hopefully everyone is enjoying the DLC if you've picked it up. For me, the official price is around $14-15, so again, laying in that $12 to $16 range depending on your currency, which is absolutely fantastic. And do I have to go left here? I mean, judging by it says the ferry, I'm going to assume I have to go left. So we're going to do so. And yep, that looks like a ferry right there. Either way, great DLC, absolutely fantastic. Highly recommend you pick it up if you are interested in exploring a beautiful region of the United States, and especially a beautiful map extension here for American Truck Simulator. So as we roll on to the ferry here, I want to say a huge thank you to everyone who has been supporting the channel recently. Welcome to all the new people, because there are hundreds, or well, now thousands more of you compared to a few weeks ago, which is absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for the support, and hopefully you enjoy the content moving forward here. I've got a lot planned, so we just have to keep an eye out for that one, or at least you do in that sense. Let's go ahead and shut off the truck and get across this ferry crossing. A beautiful crossing with the nice scenery of some oil platforms in the distance. Absolutely incredible to see here in Louisiana. And again, it's these details that set the Louisiana DLC apart from any other DLC we've seen to date here in ATS. And I'm sure moving forward, we'll see a lot more of this from SES Software, which is so exciting. And just like that, we're across, and welcome to Port Fourchon, my friends. Officially, shall I say, now that we're on the main part of, well, I guess the town itself, if you want to class it at that. A beautiful, beautiful area indeed. We got to get out the driveway here, make sure clear the fences. That road is closed, so I guess that makes my life pretty easy here. So down here in Port Fourchon, there is an absolute, well, immense port infrastructure down here on the left hand side. I believe there is, well, a general rock port just down this road here. Yep, there it is. And just adjacent to it is a big old custom shipyard. So we will have to come back to that in a future episode. Comment down below if you want to see that one. We'll have to try and come back here. It's a big ship manufacturing and servicing custom depot down here. Lots of contracts that will be available going in and out. General service station down here, fuel station alike. Beautiful to see. Energy infrastructure absolutely everywhere, from LNG exports to oil pipelines and so on. Other fuel exports as well. Port Fourchon has a lot, and I'm going to be completely honest with you, I may accidentally in this episode call it Fort Fourchon for some reason. It's Port Fourchon. Just make sure that's clear. Again, I will say a huge thank you to everyone who wished me the best in terms of getting better. I'm doing okay. Definitely, I think, on the up, but it's hitting more my voice now than ever, unfortunately. So we'll have to see what the content will look like over the next few days. We may get some different styles of content I wasn't planning on doing initially, but we may hit that But regardless, we're here today, and that's all that matters. And hopefully you enjoy the video and can get around some potential grogginess in the voice, or at least in me, or for that matter, potential brain fog that comes along with some of the information I'm going to share. So this is another part of the Louisiana DLC, which is absolutely amazing as we try to pick up some speed here. These beautiful highway bridges, or just roadway bridges here over the water, which is just kind of mind-boggling if you ask me. The fact that we're just kind of driving randomly out over the water to hit some of these different areas, it is incredible to see, and I absolutely love that this was included in the DLC. And just look at some of the height as well, and the fact that the bridges keep going up and down. I understand that's for boating clearances and to save cost, obviously, because it's cheaper to put up a bunch of smaller pillars in terms of height instead of these massive raised ones. But from a distance, especially when we get up here to the top at this end, we're trying to carry some momentum moving up. It does kind of look a little funny, to be honest with you, with the constant wave of a bridge, quite literally, over the water. Like if we look back, kind of interesting how some of the intersections are higher than not, which is, again, highly realistic, but interesting in itself. And this area was supposed to be, and quite obviously is, extremely scenic in the Louisiana DLC, in an area that was highly requested. And yes, we are going back to New Orleans once again in today's episode. Well, the city we just went to in a previous episode, but it's a completely different area of New Orleans in that best, and we're not driving on the same road. So you know what? I will take it. You can't really complain too much. It's just, it is what it is, as some would say, or as I would say quite frequently. You know what? We got to take it. And New Orleans is one of those cities that has so many different areas to it here in ATS, which is absolutely fantastic to see. It's not a small region at best. And yeah, we're going to a synthetical plant with this diesel. I guess, well, I don't know why Synthetico would need the diesel unless if they're running generators or something off of it, or maybe for other equipment. I'm not quite sure, because as far as I know, those plants are supposed to be where some of those chemical and fuel refineries actually happen. But I guess we'll have to find out. Either way, there's some pretty massive refinery and other chemical related infrastructure here in Louisiana, to no surprise, including, well, some pipelines that you can see coming up over the edge there. There's a lot around. So expect to see a lot of these deliveries pop up in the job market, especially if you're running fuel trailers. You've got a lot of options around Louisiana, which is absolutely fantastic, especially down here around the Port Fourchon, New Orleans, and even up through kind of Alexandria area. Absolutely fantastic to see. And again, really excited to explore more of Louisiana as we move around some of these areas, really scenic areas too. And again, just explore more of the DLC and what it has to offer. Now, as I said earlier, the official release has been out, and so hopefully everyone is enjoying the DLC if you've picked it up for yourself, and I'm sure many of you are enjoying it. I know many were looking forward to the release of Louisiana and exploring, in many of your cases, your hometown or home region, which is truly exciting. And I can say that, you know, I look forward to maybe one day being able to do that as a Canadian. We'll have to wait and see. Even though we are starting to move into Canada now, which is absolutely fantastic to see, we'll have to see how things go across the map. And maybe that's something I'll be able to do at some point. Either way, it is great to see Louisiana here, and of course Cruising Louisiana, the World of Trucks event, is out and upon us. So for that one, you have to have a World of Trucks account connected to your in-game profile. I know many of you do, but for those who are new, you can look up online how to do that. And I do have some more tutorials coming that may be, or may not be included in that. Just keep an eye out here on the Prime Simulation channel for that to come sometime into 2026 at this point. Either way, World of Trucks account is required. And for that delivery, so every delivery using the external contracts or external market has to be at least 100 miles. And to get your personal reward, you have to deliver to or from 10 different cities in Louisiana. And there's 11 cities in the DLC, by the way, just for those who may be wondering. We're going to get over here, I guess. Try and give some space for the trucks. that AI was flying up on me a whole lot faster than I anticipated. I was looking in the mirror on the hood, but I miscalculated the speed in which he was moving. It's all right. We survived. Anyways, you have to deliver 10 different deliveries. Well, actually, it could be less. If you really optimized your deliveries, it'd be 5. But deliver or haul cargo to and from 5 or 10 of the different 11 cities, which is honestly a fairly, I don't want to say easy cruising event. But compared to Nordic Horizons, you have to discover less cities. So I guess there's that. Either way, there's plenty of opportunity to get your personal reward, and then there's community reward as well, which can be redeemed, and potentially some special rewards, if I remember correctly, for some select regions if you visit those. So really interesting event, great to see, and it's just another cruising event, obviously, for the best community ever here, especially if you play ETS2 as well. You've got 2 different cruising events on your hands at once, with Cruising Nordic Horizons and Cruising Louisiana, which is incredible to see. And again, a lot of trucking here at the end of 2025, which is always exciting, and we'll probably have news on a holiday event coming up soon, unless if SCS Software decides to just run. Oh, and I got Homa discovered, which means that I technically got my Discover the Pelican State Steam achievement. You may have heard the little ding that came up. You wouldn't have been able to see it because of my settings, but even still, that's I guess that's an achievement for myself. And I think I had to discover 8 of the 11 cities for that Steam achievement. Either way, there should be a holiday event, a special one for Christmas, unless if SCS Software decides to integrate it all in together with what is going on here, obviously, with the 2 cruising events for the DLCs. Only time will tell on that one. Unfortunately, whatever I say here is going to be dated incredibly quickly, as far as I'm concerned, and honestly, that's pretty much the name of the game here on the Prime Simulation channel and my commentary of videos. Sometimes it is the matter of well, weeks or even days, and some things I say are outdated and confirmed. It's just the nature of it, but either way, I appreciate everyone sticking through the commentary depending on the day. Sometimes it's better than others. As we roll through this nice little settlement here, a beautiful area once again of Louisiana. It's incredible to see these details, and that's why I really wanted to do this delivery here today. Again, this delivery also happening, yes, running up to New Orleans again, but on roads we have not driven on yet, and more of these, well, scenic roads once again. Shall I say parish roads? Because I will admit, I did not realize that Louisiana had parishes and not counties. I appreciate the clarification on that one, but I'm unsure what you'd class as that. You'd just be state roads? Maybe that's what the general line of reasoning would be for that. But either way, as we get a little bit of herky-jerkiness as we go across the bridge here, unfortunately, I appreciate the clarification on that, and we'll go state or parish roads, whatever. These smaller ones, again, the scenic ones, that's where my preference lies, definitely, here in Louisiana and across any ATS or ETS2 DLC. I absolutely love, and I mean absolutely love, the more scenic architecture and scenic infrastructure of a DLC, more than the highway high-density infrastructure. Again, cities are great, and I'm sure we'll get to see some really cool things here as we head up closer to New Orleans, or as we're technically entering it, I guess, kind of coming around here. But again, it's one of those situations that, you know what, you just can't argue with some of the beautiful, beautiful natural scenery of a DLC, and these smaller roads generally give it. And until, of course, we're getting closer here where we're going to have more of the bigger infrastructure, and I believe what we're potentially looking at over on this side is some of the refineries, the synthetical plants, which is absolutely massive. That's kind of my whole point, and that's why I always have a lenience towards it, and we really wanted to cover it here today with this video, while I'm still able to talk for that matter, because at the rate of which things are going, unfortunately, may not be able to commentate for a day or two. It's pretty hard to do this without coughing, my friends, at this point. As I talk more, it gets a little bit worse and more hoarse. So if you see random cuts in the videos or mutes here and there, that is most likely the reason for that. That is, yeah, just a Prime trying to survive a recording because he really wants to do it, not because he's trying to force content out to everyone. Keep in mind, for those who are new here, I just want to make this clear. I don't fake things, or at least I don't intend to. I may go a little bit more relaxed on, say, if on the delivery, and I may just crash more than I would if I were fully trying not to. But I don't force videos out. I do stuff whenever I feel like it. And you know what? I run off of genuine excitement, not a drive to, you know, see numbers and make a bunch of money. I won't lie, numbers are great. I think we're human, and that's a fair assessment. And it's the name of the game technically here on YouTube, but that's not my underlying motivation. So I appreciate everyone who supports the channel monetarily, not. But even still, it's, you know, my motivation is just to play the games because I truly enjoy them. So when it comes to content, and you know, for me not feeling well, I just want to still do this because I really enjoy making videos and I enjoy playing the game. So it may still be a little rough around the edges in some ways, but we're going to get there. And in the case that I lose my voice, well, I've got an idea of something that's been kind of stirring around for a little while. And I think we're going to enact that. Oops, didn't want to go exterior there. There we go. Finger slipped on the button, I think. I'm going to probably enact that very soon with a couple ideas, which we'll see how it goes. Bit of an experimentation. We always like experiments. It's good to try new things. And so we'll have to see over the next probably a couple days if that plays on here while I'm not feeling well. Still be able to explore some regions here in ATS and head over to ETS2 soon once again as well and see how things go. So I think we should be getting fairly close to our delivery point. I know this is a general region here just outside of New Orleans that is, well, technically more industrial commercial, as what you can tell from around us already, with all the different infrastructure. I do believe it's just up in this general direction where we should see stuff. Oh, it's actually a bit farther away than I thought. Well, maybe some of this stuff I saw earlier wasn't actually where we were delivering to. Well, actually, still could be, technically. We came across the bridge over there. Well, there is a chance. We'll have to wait and see. Lane's reducing down, though. So I have to keep that in mind. So we'll go over here. Merge over in our LT. Been a while since I've driven the International. Figured I'd just do a run standard day cab. Also, so it doesn't tower over the tanker trailer, because opposite to the logging trailer here in American Truck Simulator, I feel like the tanker trailers are simply tiny and not scaled greatly. The base ones here in ATS anyways, well, I guess that's the only ones that's available. So again, take that as you will. And the Flavor Fair facility here is also massive. Look at that. Massive silos and huge grain legs and ramps and whatever you want to call it out to the port. Big old infrastructure. And looks like we're pulling up the Synthetico now, which is a pretty big refinery location by the looks of it. So not exactly why they'd be taking in diesel. Again, maybe only for some of the equipment here, but I feel like they wouldn't be importing it, definitely. But you know what? I'm not going to look into the logistics reasoning of this too much. Just the fact that I can appreciate that we're at least taking petroleum products to another petroleum facility. Hey, maybe it's being refined. Well, wouldn't it be, if it's diesel, it wouldn't need to be refined down even further. I don't know, generic diesel, and then it has to be colored. I don't know. Not exactly sure how that works anyway, so we're just going to roll with it. I think I have to pull in this way. I do, so we'll come out and around and pull into our delivery point and get unloaded. albeit not dynamically. Not that there'd be much to dynamically do here yet in ATS, but that would be really cool if the hoses hooked up there eventually to the trailer and technically pumped out our fuel, which would be quite interesting. Let's go ahead and shut off the truck, and I am going to thank you all so much for watching this episode, and hopefully you could understand me throughout the, well, more congested commentary and the voice that isn't as strong as normal. I appreciate everyone who's been supporting the channel over the last couple of weeks. It has been record-setting here in many facets on the Prime Simulation channel, and I appreciate the support for the efforts that I've been putting in, and I also thank everyone, including SES Software, for the opportunities that have been made available with the early access phases. Obviously, this is on full release of Louisiana, but even still across Nordic Horizons, Louisiana, it's been great to run early access content and post-release content as well for you, and I look forward to the future here in 2025 on the short term, and of course longer term for the many years to come. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.